Welcome to 10 Days of Headband Hairstyles. I'm really looking forward to doing this video. I haven't done like a full length video about hairstyles in a really long time. I usually just always post YouTube shorts, which I'm sure you've seen if you're subscribed to my channel. I love making my YouTube short videos on hairstyles, but I haven't actually done like a normal regular length video about hair. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be showing you 10 different ideas for a headband hairstyle. And what I mean by headband hairstyle is basically you have kind of like a deep part on the side of your head and you section your hair down about to where your ear is. That's what I like to do. And you do a cute little twist or braid or whatever. And I really like doing these because they're pretty easy. You can definitely make them more complicated, which I'll show you a mixture of easy hairstyles and then more complicated headband hairstyles. So you can kind of do whatever you want with these, and so that's why I like doing them, is because you can be creative with it. I've also seen people do these headband hairstyles where they start literally on this side and they go all the way across like this, and that's just too hard for me. I've tried it before and it doesn't look good. So for me personally, and I feel like for most people, it's just easier to only do like half of your head and start up here and go down. I just feel like that's easier. So that's what we're gonna do. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Today we're going to start off with our first headband hairstyle, and this is going to be the simplest one. I'm gonna start out simple and kind of work my way to more complicated ones. So yeah, feel free to get any ideas from this video if you want some cute hairstyles. And so let's get started with the first one. Alright, so for our first hairstyle, we are going to be doing the simple slick back. So basically I am parting my hair down to my ear on both sides of my head. This is the only hairstyle where I do both sides like that. And then I tie up my hair in the back into like a ponytail or messy bun. I didn't tie it up very well because it kept getting in the way. But basically I kind of slicked back both sides, made sure they were smooth, and then I tied them both together in the back with a hair elastic. And then you just let the rest of your hair down and it covers up the hair elastic so you don't see anything in the back. And it just looks really put together, and I decided to put a headband with it. And I thought it looked pretty cute, and even though it's simple, it is really pretty too. The second hairstyle we're going to do is called the French twist. And so I'm just parting my hair down to my ear once again and tying up the rest of my hair. And basically this hairstyle, you're going to take two pieces of hair and you're going to twist them over each other. And every time you twist them over each other, you add a piece of hair to the front section. And so you just keep on doing that. And as you continue down the rest of your head, it'll kind of create this French twist effect. And that's basically from just adding hair each time you twist, as you can see like I'm doing there. And then I just twist it down a little bit further, and then I'm just going to attach it to a little piece of hair behind my ear. And we're going to tie it off with a hair elastic, tighten it up, and flip my hair down, and it'll cover the hair elastic. So that's basically how I make all of my headband hairstyles stay, is doing it this way. And this one's super cute. The third one we're going to be doing is the Dutch braid. And for this one, you are going to once again just part your hair on the side of your head and part it down to your ear. And for this one, you are going to do a simple Dutch braid. And this does take some practice, especially if you haven't done a Dutch braid before. But it's very similar to a French braid, except you cross the pieces underneath each other instead of over each other. And once again, I just attached it to the piece behind my ear. And right there, I'm just pulling it apart so that it looks a lot more noticeable. And this is probably the one I actually do the most because I just love how it looks, and it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it. This fourth hairstyle is very similar to the one we just did. It looks very much the same. It's just more of a unique way to do it, and it's honestly more fun to do if you have the time. So I just wet down my hair a little bit because I just find that it's easier to do it when it's a little bit wet. So I am just doing little sections of hair, and I'm just putting an elastic in each one of them. And you're going to take the top one, and as you can see, I am going to split it in half, and you're going to kind of loop it down and replace the one below it, if that makes sense. And then you're going to add more hair, tie it off, and you're going to do the same thing. Flip the first, like the top one, and then divide it in half and then replace it with the one on the bottom. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of easier just to watch and figure it out. But basically this is called the pull-through braid, and it looks very similar to just a regular Dutch braid, which is the one we just did. But this one just kind of has more of a unique look to it, and yes, you do use a lot of elastics. So it is kind of harder to like take out and everything at the end of the day. But it is really cool once you get it all finished and you go back and pull it apart, because it stands out a lot more than probably a regular Dutch braid will. So I'm just continuing that down my head and then tying it behind my ear. And there is me pulling it apart. And that's what it looks like. I think it looks pretty cool, and this was the first time I actually tried doing this hairstyle. I've seen people do it before, and I like the way it turned out, so there's that one. For day 5, this is another hairstyle that was kind of a new one for me to try, but I really like it, and so I'm probably going to do it again. This is called the flip through braid, and it's another one where you'll want to wet down your hair a little bit if that's just easier for you. You use a lot of elastics with this one also, but basically you just tie little sections of hair as you go and you flip them through, and it looks like that, and it kind of creates like a cool little flip twist effect. And you just keep on doing that down your head. You add pieces to it each time, and it almost kind of looks like a knotted braid. I'm not really sure if that makes sense, but it just has kind of a cool effect to it like that. It looks like you knotted your hair a little bit, but I think it looked really cool. This next one is going to be double French braids. And so this one, you're basically going to kind of part your front section in half like that. And you are going to just French braid each of those sections just separately. So right there, I'm just French braiding the back half of my hair. And I'm braiding it down, and then I'm tying it off like that with a hair elastic. And then I'm doing the same thing with the front section. I'm just French braiding it. I kind of ran out of hair on the front side of it. I probably didn't part it very good, or like split it in half very good. But basically you have these two French braids, and you just tie them both together behind your ear. And I thought this one looked really cute. It's definitely more unique than just one French braid. This next hairstyle is the Dutch fishtail braid, and this one definitely takes some practice. I am not very good at Dutch fishtail braids. I can do a regular fishtail pretty well, but for some reason doing the Dutch version is harder for me to do. But basically you're doing a regular fishtail braid, which is where you take two equal sections of hair and you flip little sections underneath each other. That's what makes it a Dutch braid. And so you basically do that, and you add hair each time you flip a little piece under. And it doesn't really look like a fishtail or much really at the beginning, but once you keep going, you'll start to see it form into a fishtail braid. The main thing with this one, and pretty much for all of them, is you'll want to pull the braid apart. It just makes it a lot more noticeable, and I just think it looks way cuter that way. But that is the Dutch fishtail braided headband. So this next one's kind of a fail. I don't really know what I was doing with this one, but I was basically trying to do a Dutch lace braid, which is basically like a normal Dutch braid, but instead of adding hair to each side, you're only adding hair on one side of the braid. So I'm only adding hair to the back section, like the back half of the two strands, if that makes sense. So yeah, as you can see that since I was only adding hair from one side, it left a weird like front section that I didn't really know what to do with. So I just kind of twisted it back like that, and I just combined it with the braid I already did. And so that's what it looks like. It looks kind of just like a normal like Dutch braid, but it was just kind of an experiment I was doing. You just kind of add hair to one side and it looks a little bit different. This next one, this is day 9. We are going to be doing, I forgot what this hairstyle was. Hold on. I'm trying to remember what this one is. This is the French fishtail braid. So like the Dutch fishtail braid, this one's similar, except we are just doing a normal fishtail braid where we take little sections from each side and cross them over. But this is the French version, so you're just adding hair to each side, and instead of crossing it under each other, you're doing it over each other. So it creates like a French fishtail effect. So yeah, definitely if you're gonna try these, maybe learn a regular fishtail first, but that's what it looks like. It kind of has a similar look to a French braid. It just looks a little bit different. It's more of a fishtail, and I thought that one was really cute. Our last and final hairstyle, day 10, is the bubble braided headband. This one is so fun to do. And basically, I am just wetting down my hair a little bit again. This is another one that you'll need some elastics. And you're going to add hair each time that you tie an elastic off. So you are adding little bits of hair, creating a new section, and then tying that off. And as you do this down your head, it won't really look like much, but once you're all finished, you are going to pull each of those little sections apart, and they create like these little bubbles is what it looks like basically. So yeah, with this one you'll want to definitely pull it apart like that, so you can see each section kind of has its own little bubble, kind of bumpy effect. And so that's what it looks like. It looks really cute, and it's definitely different than like a normal braid. But yeah, that is our very last hairstyle for this 10 days of headband hairstyles video.